Okay, hi everybody. So in this video, we're going to have something that's a little bit more in depth than the videos I've previously done. And what we're going to do in this one is we are going to go step by step through the process of creating our own website. And I'm going to go through this process because usually when I do this, I kind of joke around with friends and I say, well, it takes me an afternoon to make a website. And they always say, really? Like, does it really take just an afternoon to create a website from scratch? And I'm like, yeah, it just takes an afternoon. So if you're willing to dedicate the time and you're willing to learn new things, anyone can really go and set up an set up a website nowadays. So with that, I'm going to take you through the whole process step by step. So step one in your I keep saying email, but I mean website, in your website journey is to choose a domain. And I have chosen my domain name, and it's going to be this one right here. And this is for a personal project I'm working on. So what I've done, and the thing that you have to go and do if you're starting off completely fresh here, is you need to go and create a Namecheap account and buy a domain name. All right, so at the time of this recording, I just wanted to make this message just so it might save a few people money. But at the time of this recording, BlueHost, which is the host that I use to run all my websites and host all my websites and where I purchase my domains, they offer a free domain name if you sign up with their hosting package. Now, this is not mandatory. You do not need to use Bluehost as your website host. However, if you don't have a website host and you need to get it eventually, you might as well just go with Bluehost and use that free domain. So you won't need to buy a domain from Namecheap if you're using this method. If you do decide to use Bluehost and use that domain, you can skip a lot of these steps that I'm going to go through. In the description of this video, I've included a link to that Bluehost offer for a free domain. You can click on that and sign up that way, and then come back to this video when we get into the part about installing WordPress. I'm going to go ahead and have an annotation on the video that'll let you fast forward to that point. If you have any questions, you can also leave a comment in the section below. And I think I got mine for about $10, and it comes with domain protection. So yeah, there is domain protection, so people won't be able to figure out who you are. So let's pretend like I haven't bought this already, and let's just go through the whole process. So I'm going to go to namecheap.com, and I'm going to type in make me a website 12345. I hope this is available or else it's going to be kind of weird. Okay, cool. So make me a website 12345 is available. So once you've chosen your domain, you just click on the add to cart button, and then you view your cart. WhoisGuard is free for the first year, and then I don't know why it is in Canadian dollars. I am trying to find in US dollars. Okay, there we go. And then 1 year registration is all you need for now. You can renew it at a later date. And it looks like they give me a promo code to begin with. So my subtotal is going to be 1087. So once you've confirmed the order and gone through and created an account, you will have a domain name in your domain manager. So by this point, I'm going to give you some time to pause the video and come back to this setting right here. This is your dashboard for Namecheap, and you should have your domain that you've picked out and bought right here under the recently active in your account. If you don't, just go over to the domain list and it should be there too. So what we're going to do now is we're going to move this domain, we're going to assign it to our Bluehost account. And don't worry if you don't have Bluehost or if you already have another website host, the process of doing this is pretty similar. And again, this next part is only for those of you who already have a hosting plan set up. If you do not have a hosting account, watch the video I made in the video description below that shows you how to buy hosting from Bluehost. If you already have a hosting account, follow along as I navigate to bluehost.com. Okay, and I'm going to log into my account. And once I log into my account, I'll be able to show you guys the cPanel where we can assign the domain to our account. So I'm going to come right back to that now. Okay, so I'm in the control panel and I clicked on domains, and then I'm at the domain page, and I want to click on the Assign button. And what this is going to do is it's just going to assign a domain to your control panel account with BlueHost. And the cool thing with BlueHost is that depending on the plan you're on, you can have 100 different domains pointing to the same BlueHost account. So I don't want to use a previous domain that I have. I want to use a new domain. So I'm going to type in phoenixseosolutions.com, and it's going to verify it. We're going to give it some time to do its thing. Okay, so verify the ownership of the domain. Please point the name servers for the domain to nameserver1 and nameserver2 at bluehost.com. So what we have to do is we have to copy both of these. So Control copy on Mac, Control C on Mac, Command C on Mac, Control C on Windows. And we're going to go back to Namecheap. And what we're going to do now is we're going to go to the domain list. And then we're going to click on Manage next to the domain you want to manage. And then here we're going to go down to the name servers section. And we're actually going to use a custom domain name server. And it's really easy. We're just going to paste the name servers that BlueHost told us to right in this section. So again, let's go back and make sure we did this correctly. ns1.bluehost.com and ns2.bluehost.com. Okay, ns1, ns2 looks good to me. I'm going to click on the Save button. Okay, DNS server update may take up to 48 hours to take effect. Usually what I found is that it never takes 48 hours. It's almost usually instant. But regardless, we're going to refresh this page, Command R on Mac, and we're going to go through this process again where we type in the domain, and it should have this verify ownership section filled out already. So again, Command R on Mac to refresh the page. Okay, use a domain that is not already associated with your account. So again, just type in the same exact thing that we've previously typed in. Okay, ownership verified. The name servers for the domain, yada yada, are currently set to nameserver1 and nameserver2. If you don't have this option immediately appear, it may take a few more hours to take effect, so don't panic, just give it some time. And we want it to be an add-on domain. So it's just going to make a different subdirectory. You can leave the create a new directory alone. It's just going to be whatever in your control panel. This is what it's going to be. So if you want to rename this, you can, but I would advise it just to leave it exactly the way that they have it. And then you're going to click on Assign this domain. Okay, so once you've clicked on Assign Domain, you should be taken back to the domain list page. And you want to scroll down to where your list of domains are. And I've blocked out mine and I've blurred it so, just to keep my own privacy. But find the domain that you've recently assigned to your BlueHost account and just make sure that it's sitting there. And in mine, I'm looking at it and it says the domain name and then it says the expiration date and it says that it's an add-on domain. Cool. So the next thing you want to do is scroll to the top of the page and you want to go to hosting. And then under hosting, you don't want any of that. You want to click on cPanel. Okay, and then you want to scroll down to where it says WordPress. And I haven't done this in a while, so I need to figure out where it is, and they've redone their layout. Okay, so this is the button you want to click on. It's under Website. So click on Install WordPress. Okay, and then you want to click on Install. Don't do any of this stuff. We're doing it the cheap and easy way. Okay, and now on this page it's going to ask you what domain you'd like to install it to. So you want to select the domain that you just put to your BlueHost account. So for me, I'm going to click on Phoenix SEO Solutions. So once you have that selected, make sure you leave this blank and then click on Check Domain. And what happens if you would have filled out this section with something is that instead of installing WordPress on the actual landing page, like phoenixseosolutions.com, it would have installed it on whatever you wanted that to be. So some people, if they want their main website to not be WordPress, they want it to be just basic HTML and CSS, they'll have like a blog section, and they would have put blog in that little area that I told you to leave blank. So that way WordPress is only installed on the blog portion of the site. Okay, so I have read the terms and conditions. Obviously, if you want to go and read that, you can. Under the Show Advanced Options section, it's going to ask you to put in a custom username and password for the WordPress site. Highly, highly recommend you do that because the password they give you is really long and really confusing. So if you have a custom password that you want to put in, please go ahead and do that now, as well as your login information, and definitely save that, because if you don't remember it, it's really difficult to get back into your WordPress account or your WordPress website. So I'm going to blur this part out, but I'm going to go and click on Show Advanced Options, set my username and password, and then I'm going to click on the Install Now button. Okay, so the first thing it's going to ask you, obviously this part is blurred, but the site name or title, just put the name of the site that you'd like for it to appear to customers. So for me, I'm going to put Phoenix SEO Solutions. And then the admin username, of course, it can be your email or it can be an actual username without the @Yahoo or @Hotmail or any of those. So I'm going to put in my username that I want to use. And I'm also going to put in my password. Okay, and it's also going to ask you, there's a checkbox, and it's going to say automatically create a new database for this installation. Leave that checked, and then click on Install Now. And make sure you remember all of that information that you put above. So a really easy way for me to remember it for the time being is I just take a screenshot of it. So on Mac, if you want to take a screenshot of a specific part of the page, it's Command-Shift-4. And then it'll let you select the part of the page that you want to take a screenshot of. So there, I've gone ahead and I've screenshotted my information. Make sure you delete that later once you have it in a safer place. I'm going to click on Install Now. And I'm just going to wait for it to load. Okay, so it's installing WordPress right now. Close out of that. And once this is completely finished, it's going to take you to the finished page, and we should see this pretty soon. If you need to view your login credentials again, you can click on the View Details. But I want to keep that private for now since I'm recording all of this, so I'm just going to wait until the installation is finished. Okay, your install is complete. So again, if you need to see your login information one last time, you can click on that button to view it. But as of right now, you've successfully installed WordPress on your website. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my website right now. And it should just be a blank page. It might actually have the default WordPress. Okay, cool. So this is the default. Once you've installed WordPress with BlueHost, this is what you should see. So in order to log in, you're going to do /wp-admin. Nice, and then it's going to ask you to enter your username or email as well as the password, and if you want, you can click on Remember Me Too. So I'm going to go ahead and enter my username and password, then I'm going to click on the Login button, and I'm going to blur this section out just for my own privacy. Okay. Alright, so you're now looking at the dashboard for the WordPress site. So what I'm first going to go ahead and do, this is just my own personal preference from here on out, but I immediately just go and get rid of the plugins that I don't need or want. And what I'm going to do first is I'm just going to go through this list here and get rid of 1, 2, and 3. Just, you have to deactivate it first because you don't need any of these for anything unless you have a specific Mojo Marketplace plugin that you really want. But for the most part, I just immediately go and just get rid of them so I don't have to worry about it later. Alright, good stuff. Okay, so Akismet, however you pronounce it, it's going to be default. It's going to be installed on your WordPress website. What it does is it blocks your website from a ton of spam. And in my previous websites that I've made, I found it to be really, really useful. So usually what I do is I go ahead and create or activate my Akismet account. Again, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. So the first thing I'm going to go ahead and do, just so I can get this pop-up bar out of the way as well, is I'm just going to go ahead and do that. So you just click on that blue button and then click on get your API key, get an Akismet API key, and I'm going to type in a new email address, username, and password. So you might be asking, okay, well, what email address should I use? Excellent question. Now would be a really great time to leave this page up, because we'll come back to it in a second, but now would be a really great time to set up the emails on this domain. So what we're going to do instead of signing up for Akismet right now is we're going to go back to BlueHost. This is Namecheap, we don't want that. We're going to go back to BlueHost, and I'm going to go and sign back in, and then we're going to go to the email section. And I'll show you that once I've logged in again. Okay, so I've logged back in, and this is, again, the hosting landing page. And I'm going to click on email. And then what I'm going to do is click on the create an email account. And you'll recognize this is my regular blog, but I don't want to use my regular blog. I'm going to use this drop-down box, and I'm going to select the website that we just made. Okay, so I want my name to be John, and I'm going to enter my email password just for this to log into my email account. And once I do that, I'm going to click on the create button. And usually what I do is that I want an unlimited mailbox size. Down the road, I just don't want, if it ever becomes full, I don't want people to not be able to contact me. So I always just set it as unlimited. If you have a dozen users that you're creating emails for, it might be a good idea to put it at a set mailbox storage. That way if they do have a lot of spam email come in, you can cut down on how much space you're using. But for the most part, just keep it at unlimited and you'll be fine. So again, I'm going to enter my username. I've already entered my username, but I'm going to enter my password, then I'm going to click on create, and then I'll show you how we can forward all of this to a separate email account to make it really easy for us. So I'm going to enter my password. I'm going to blow this part out again. Okay. I'm going to click on create. Alright, so I've gone ahead and created an email account. So I'm going to scroll down to that email. And I apologize because I have a lot of emails here. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on view details. And then the next thing I'm going to do is click on forward this mailbox. And the reason I do this is because I have an email account with Google that all of my website stuff goes to. So if someone contacts me on another website and I don't always check specifically that email address, it just automatically forwards it to my main email address where I do check it every day. So in order to do this, you're going to click on the forwarding tab and then scroll down to where it says add an email forwarder. And I'm going to click on forward to this address, and then I'm just going to enter the email address that I want it to be forwarded to. And then I'm going to click on submit. At this point, if you want to go and create a Gmail account specifically just for all your website stuff, it might be useful because you're going to be signing up for a lot of different things, and you're going to be getting a lot of different types of emails that maybe you want to keep separate from your personal email address. So I'm going to go ahead and really quickly go and create another Gmail account and then come back to this page so I can just separate everything just for the purpose of this video. So I'm going to pause the video and I'll be back in just a minute. Okay, I'm back. So what I did is I went and created a Gmail account to use for this video, and I've put that email account in the forward to this address section. So I put it right here, and this is blurred out right now. So I'm going to click on Submit. Okay, good. So now what happens is that whenever someone uses a contact form and contacts you at your email address, it's going to go to your main email address instead. So you'll never have to come back to BlueHost and log into your email account or do anything like that. You can just log in using your preferred webmail. Like for me, it'd be Gmail. If you have a Yahoo account, you can just log into your Yahoo account, and whatever you put for your email forwarder to address, that's the one it's going to end up in. So now that we've done that, we can go back to the Akismet signup, and we can use our website email address instead of our main email address. So for example, mine is going to be john@phoenixseosolutions.com. Okay, and then I'm going to create a username, and I'm going to click a password, and then I'm going to click on sign up. Okay, so in this page, you're going to click on Get Started under the Basic. And then if you don't want to contribute any money to them, you can slide this all the way down to zero, and then just enter your first and last name. And then click on Continue. Keep in mind that if you have an online store, you will have to purchase spam protection through Akismet because this is only for non-commercial use. Okay, so I want to click on Activate this site. And again, we're just waiting for the web page to load. Okay, awesome. So it automatically puts your API key in this settings box here. And then what you want to do is always put spam in the spam folder for review. And this just makes it so that if someone accidentally does get triggered by the spam filter, you have the chance to approve it or deny it before Akismet just deletes it completely. So you're going to click on Save Changes. Okay, and it doesn't look like there's any approval page for me, but I know that it's going to be activated because once I go back to plugins, that annoying window that used to be up here that said Activate Akismet is now gone. So that's great. So the next thing that I like to do is I immediately like to go and add a few plugins that are like my go-to plugins that I know I'm going to use every single day, and I know that I'm going to have to get them at some point. And the first one is going to be Google XLM. And what this does, Google XML Sitemaps by Arnie Bratchhold. I'm sorry if I just butchered his name. But this makes it really easy for the search engines to better index your blog. So in terms of SEO, this is my #1 plugin that you should definitely get. So I'm going to install this, and I'm going to activate it. And then I'm going to add another plugin. And the second plugin is going to be Google Analytics. Excuse me, I'm sorry, it's not going to be Google Analytics, it's going to be Yoast SEO. And I had autocorrect do this to me, but it's a Y-O-A-S-T. And I'm going to install now. And this is again just for SEO if you want to increase the uh, availability and the ability for people to find your site. This is a go-to plugin as well. And then the next plugin I'm going to add is I'm going to add WordFence. And WordFence is just a simple security plugin. It's pretty default. A lot of people use it. And it just blocks people that try to get into your site with too many incorrect passwords. And it gives you an update every week or so about what's going on with your site. I usually don't configure this, I just dismiss it. And okay, so we have Akismet, Google XML Sitemaps, WordFence Security, Yoast SEO. A paid plugin that I really like to use a lot is it's called Visual Composer. I have it installed on a few of my other websites, but it is a paid plugin, but it makes it really easy for you to make pages on your website. I'm not going to be using it for this example because I want this to be the free version or the light version of making a website. And then if there's a lot of interest, I can always go back and show you how to use that plugin specifically. So for the time being, this is all we really need. Notice how we haven't even gotten into the appearance section. We haven't added any themes. So let's just go ahead and do that now. So let's go to themes. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete the 2013, the 2014, and the 2015 theme. And the reason I'm gonna be doing this is because I know that I'm never going to refer back to them ever in a million years. The reason I keep the 2016 theme is that once I have the theme that I'm going to use for my website picked out, if anything ever goes wrong with that theme, like if something breaks or if there's a formatting issue, I always want to have a fallback plan. So my 2016 theme is my fallback plan. But for the rest of these, I know for a fact I will never use them ever. So I just like to make it really cleaned up and easy. So I'm just going to delete every single one of them besides 2016. Okay. Okay, so now you get to the point where you can kind of have a little bit of freedom on what you want to go and do in terms of themes. Before we go and pick out a theme together, I'm first going to go and do two very important things, and that is I'm going to go back to my plugins. I'm going to make sure that I have Yoast SEO installed, and then I'm going to click on Settings, and you can also access this menu from the sidebar here. But just to show you that you can also access it in plugins, I'm going to click on Settings. Okay, so the first thing you want to do for SEO purposes is that you want to have your URL structure. So for example, the stuff that comes after the main part of your website, you want to have it to list the title of your future posts and pages. And the reason you want to do this is because it's an SEO method that makes it easier for the search engines to crawl through your website. And instead of naming, a page about cat toys, page 4, it's instead going to say cattoys.com/10 cat toys that you should have. So this is the reason why you do that. If that's confusing for anybody, you can leave a comment below and I can explain in more detail, but I'm going to fix that right now. So I'm going to click on the post name for the common settings under permalinks. And if you want to find this page by yourself, on the sidebar, scroll down to settings, and then under settings, it's going to be under permalinks. And I'm going to change it to post name. I'm going to click on save changes. And then I'm going to go back to the SEO plugin. And what I'm going to do is click on your info. Okay, and I don't need anything here, so I'm going to click on titles and metas. Okay, so the title separator is what's in between your post title and site name. I'll show you later where this appears. Under homepage, you want to give your name the title that's going to appear for the search engines. So for me, I'm going to put Phoenix SEO Solutions. I'm going to click on Save Changes. Okay, now I'm going to click on Post Types. And for the most part, I'm going to leave this be. I'm going to leave all of this the same. Okay, so on the side here, I'm going to click on Tools. Okay, I don't need anything here right now. Under Advanced, we're going to disable breadcrumbs for the time being. Let's go to Search Console. Alright, so we're pretty much done with this plugin. What I'm going to go and do now is I'm going to end this video and upload a new video that shows me just going through and picking out the theme and getting that set up. You have a huge degree of freedom here. You can go ahead and follow along with me while I do that, or you can go out on your own and choose your own theme and work on it that way. Whatever you feel like, totally fine. I'm going to include a link to the next video after this one in the description. With that, I think we've basically covered everything in terms of getting WordPress set up. So if you have any other questions, you can leave a comment below. But thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Take care.